Hello and welcome to Know Your Representative, the program that bridges the visible gap between lawmakers and their constituents. I am Maria Olashainde. Today on the show, I'm going to, where can you guess? Ogun State. You want to know who my guest is? We'll take a short break. I'll be back soon. Stay with us. The task of the leaders is to get their people from where they are to where they've not been.
The job is simple: to provide effective representation for your people and also be a strong voice.
How do we hold our leaders accountable in the business of lawmaking and representation?
There should be more scholarship for children to be able to go to school.
Faleke is a man of God. He has been doing it. He has been helping people.
And how do the people ensure that their constituency projects are executed to the letter? Do they even know their representatives at the states and national assemblies?
He touched so many lives across the states.
We're ready to go the extra mile just to show Nigerian your constituency projects, both federal, state, and local government level. Know your representative with Maria Olashainde, bridging the visible gap.
Nigeria is more than a nation. We are a force of nation, a tapestry made from aspirations and tenacity of more than 200 million people who wake up each day with hopes of a brighter and rewarding future.
My name is Gboyega, Nasir, Isiaka. I represent Yewa North, Imeko, Afon Federal Constituency of Ogun State.
Welcome back. And if you're just joining us, the program is still Know Your Representative with Maria, the program that bridges the visible gap between lawmakers and their constituents. My guest on the show today is Honorable Gboyega Isiaka, popularly called GNI. He is representing Yewa North, Imeko, Afon Federal Constituency. He's also the Chairman House Committee on National Planning and Economic Development. Sir, you're welcome to Know Your Representative.
Thank you very much, and good day, viewers.
How has it been, sir, representing Yewa North, Imeko, and Afon Federal Constituency?
Well, it's been quite interesting to me, and of course demanding, but also fulfilling to a very great extent. Fulfilling because you have the opportunity to be able to attend to people's needs, also looking at the people and what we are, and also be able to pinpoint those things that you believe the people needs in terms of infrastructure or one thing or the other. Also working with about 359 other members from different parts of the country, and I'm sharing ideas and views with them, and also being able to promote what happens in your area. It's also something that I find very exciting. So in all, I think I found it very, very nice and very, very good and very interesting.
So let's delve into your projects, the projects that you've done, infrastructure, roads, agriculture. Let us into it.
Well, I've done a bit. Just about a month ago, we had what I call midterm engagement with my constituents, and I was able to give out some of the things that we have been able to do. I think in terms of projects, I just give a summary. In terms of road, we're able to do a road construction at Imeko. Also, we're able to have within that in the area of security a police station, which was commissioned, by the Commissioner of Police of Ogun State sometime in December. Boreholes have been dug in not less than 8 locations within the federal constituency. Also transformers have been put in not less than 5-6 locations that are within the federal constituency. Of course, there are hundreds of solar power that have also been distributed, particularly to the rural areas, where it means a lot more to them, where you even have 1 or 2 or 3, and it means a lot more to them. In Imeko, there's a CBT center that is about 80% completed as at this time, and that will be the first center where computer-based tests can be done within that local government. up until this time, JAMB exams and other exams that require CBT centers are being, people have to travel in, hundreds of kilometers for them to be able to do that. We have that. There are also blocks of classrooms that have been done. At least on the last count, it's not less than 10 in and across the federal constituency. Some have been commissioned, or at least 1 or 2 have been commissioned, while about 6 or so others are in different stages of construction. Of course, that's also, that excludes the renovations. We have renovations again in not less than about 2 or 3 locations, and I know that all of these have been completed. There's also renovations and construction in the area of healthcare, of primary, primary healthcare centers, and this we also have in about 4 locations. Also, be able to facilitate a private investment in terms of the rice cultivation, facility in one of our towns that is called Yewa. It's a partnership that was facilitated by this office between the state government and some investors. We expect them to do cutting after finishing this up to a particular point. They promised, we have a promise that before the end of the year, they'll be able to go into cutting.
Okay, so it involves your constituents.
Oh yes,
that's giving another form of employment.
Oh yes, it's located within my constituency. There are 2 local governments, like we said. The rice is in Yewa North, the cotton is in Imeko, Afon. But the rice construction is already going on, and I think plantation is going to start by this season, I think by June. We also discovered in some of the things, but one of the things I did at the beginning of this mandate, of this 4-year mandate, is to do a 15-year development plan for the federal constituency. 15 years, 15. And the whole idea about that is to say that, yes, that's where I was born, that's where I was raised, that's where I went to school, at least up to secondary school. But again, now we need to have a deeper information. So we did that. And of course, one of the things we also discovered is that we need to pay more attention to is education, particularly teachers. So I have also on my own employed about, I think at the last count, about 20 teachers to concentrate on English and maths, because that is an area. Incidentally, Imeko Afon local government is one of the 2 local government that is classified as educational disadvantage in my state. So we need to pay a lot more attention to education, and that's why I mentioned the CBT center that I mentioned, the first in place, and also the teachers, which are just basically to just help and in the area of education for the students. So there are quite a number of those ones. These are all projects that relates to 2024 and maybe a little part of 2025. There are a number of other projects within 2025 projects because the budget of 2025 extends till about March that we are still expecting to come on board. We still expect some schools, some hospitals, and things like that we have done. So those are some of the things that we have done in the area of constituency projects.
Okay, so when you do this legislative, some call it town hall meeting, I think you just call it legislative engagement.
Yes.
So what's the feelers like?
We actually call it midterm constituency engagement.
Okay, midterm constituency engagement. So what's the feelers like when everybody come around together and say, okay, this is what we want. What are you doing? This is what we want. Do you do what you want to do, or you get their feelers on what they want?
In the first instance, I mentioned a development plan. When we finished that plan, and it was a plan that involved quite a number of experts from across, all over. When we finished that, we make a presentation of it to the creme de la creme of the federal constituency so that we can get their input, their buying into it. So the vision, the mission, the area of concentration, because one of the major things that we discovered and which we don't know about is the peculiar advantage that we have. We are a border community. From the beginning to the end of my federal constituency, we share border with Benin Republic. So the idea is that how do we take advantage of that? We're also far from the center. So if you're talking about, you want to take advantage of port or all of that, we are far from all of those things. But we have land. We're also a very good route, for inter-border trade within the continent. Of course, after the presentation at the midterm engagement, like you answered, you said, we got commendations, we got comments, people that feel that areas can still be looked at. Of course, we also got people that said that, look, in their own area, maybe they need more, they also need water with this. And of course, we let them know that, yes, we do know that all of these areas do need, but within a mandate of about 1.5 years or 2, which is actually what this is about, we only can do as much as we can. We can do. We also, I mean, in addition to that, is the fact that you know that unemployment is one of the challenges that we have as a people. Though we also try to relate very well with the establishments, and the agencies to also see how we can do that. And we're able to point out not less than 21 jobs, areas, people that were facilitated employment within this period.
Okay, beautiful, sir. Now let's look at health. What are your plans of if you've done a lay-down procedure for health, or there are one or two things that you still want to do concerning health?
Well, access. Access is the thing that we can continue to improve upon. In the plan that I mentioned, there is a particular level of number of facilities that we believe we can get so that we can meet a particular threshold of given the number of population that we have and the facilities that we have. And we know there's a gap that needs to be met. Of course, the state government is doing its own, I must say. And we're also enjoying other legislators and stakeholders to also intervene in some of these areas. But in our own case, if I remember well, I think that we have renovated about 4 or 5 PHCs, and then I think in the remaining part of the 2025 budget, there are at least 2 PHCs that we're going to construct from the beginning, just to increase access. Because like I said, that is one of the major things. So we will continue to see what we can do about that. I think again in the General Hospital Imeko, where we also discovered that one of the major reasons that place lacks qualified doctors a lot of the time, because when they come, of course, this is a rural area, facilities are not there. So we're also trying to put some quotas so that to also ensure that they stay. So some of these things that we also discover when we go there. And like I said, in the remaining part, we also continue to see how we can improve on these. We already know some of these areas that require a lot of interventions, education, health, in particular, those 2 major areas. And I think we've done quite a few things there, but we can continue to improve upon it as we go.
Okay, there's this road that the governor came to commission in your constituency. So tell us, what's the importance of that road to your community?
It's one of the township roads in the Imeko Afon local government. That is the Afon Township Road. And that will be the second. It was there again in 2022 to also commission one in Imeko. The one in Imeko then was a fresh one. I think this one, I understand, was last constructed in the western region, and there are roads that we have passed, and there are roads that were practically abandoned because they were bad. So it's been constructed and it's quite nice. People are quite happy about it. So I must also add that one of the major things that is happening around us, there is the Badagry-Sokoto Road, which actually passed through, a federal constituency. And that is also one major thing that once it starts getting to use, it's going to reduce traveling time between that part of the country, the country and the main cities of Lagos and all of that. That is under construction now, and thanks to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for that. And I think it's also one of the things that people mentioned that that day. It's probably the widest road that I've ever seen around that area. Of course, not in the city.
Okay, so let's talk about women. What's the position of women in your federal constituency? What have you done, to brighten or, to make life worth living for the women in your constituency?
We did quite a number of empowerment programs, training, buying of items, sewing machine, hairdressing,
skill
acquisitions. Yeah, that's the word. We did quite a number of that, and of course, a good number of that. Women, take a land shock that benefited from those. I'm sure that by the time I give you this, when I finish, you'll see the pictures of when some of those things were done. So in everything that we do, of course, women are always put at the center of it in terms of ensuring that we take good care of them. So, of course, all of the education and all of that we mentioned is all to prepare everybody, but particularly for our women who have also participated very well, in the political process that gave us this victory, and all of the ones that we have done. We will continue to recognize them. We'll continue to give them the pride of place in all that we do. And even at the time we are putting our things together, we always pay particular attention to to that. So women, in all of those empowerments that I mentioned, I'm sure that the ratio of women to men in terms of access to some of those empowerment items, training items, skill acquisition items that we do, I'm sure cannot be less than 60-40.
Okay, so what more should your constituents expect from you?
Well, the first thing is that in all, I've pushed about 3 or 4, about 5 bills that are in different stages. The one that I've not mentioned thus far is the one that is a bill for Federal Institute of Technical and Vocational Education in Imeko, which was actually the first one that I did. That again has passed, the third reading and final reading in the House, awaiting, this consent from the Senate. And also, there are quite a number of other projects that we have in our, in some of the things that we do. All of these ones I've reeled out are the ones that they either completed or at least, ongoing. There are quite a number of others that we also expect to happen in our area, that I should be expecting that our people will begin to have a feel of it as we go into the administration. And then generally availability, continue to be available. Generally running around to look for a job. Like I said, we've been able to generate about 21 within the first few months. We expect that, in the remaining year, we'll also be able to secure more jobs for our people, apart from the one we are trying to create with the private sector initiatives that we have in the Federal Constituency.
So should they be looking forward to a renewed hope mega empowerment program?
Oh yes, courtesy of our president, our governor. We did one in March last year. I also believe that
this one should be bigger.
Before the end of the first quarter of this year, or latest April, we should be able to come up with another one.
Okay, so let's briefly talk about your slogan, Believe. When you go to your federal constituency, even under your comment section on social media, you just say, people say, just believe, believe, believe. So what's the message, or what's the experience behind that word believe?
Well, it started from maybe our first few days of brainstorming, when the whole politicking process wanted to start. And it is anchored on the fact that it's conviction about what we want to embark upon. Politics has its own ways. There are so many things. As you know, it's a hard knuckle game, like you said. So we came up with various options, but we said that, look, if you don't hold the belief about this thing that you want to do, if you are not convinced about it, if you know you are not going to be very resilient and very courageous about it and all of that, then you better not dare get into it. So that was the thing. Little did we know that the journey was going to be what has happened. I'm talking of something that this happened about 2009, thereabout. This is 2026. It's as if we saw the future, because if there is anything now that is one of the things that is holding us, it is the conviction and the belief.
Okay, so this part of the program, you get to speak in your native dialect. When you go to your constituency, you don't interact with them in English. So that's dialect. Just briefly, everything that you've explained, just say it in your local dialect. What they should expect from you.
Fún àǹfààní yẹn fún láti lè jókòó sórí ìjókòó ìmọ̀jókòó yìí. lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run a kò ní dójú tì yín o. Gbogbo ihun àti ṣeun àti sọ àti àbáyín sọ ní àti sọ dékànnú ẹ̀ ń bí a kò lè ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ tán. Ọlọ́run lẹ́kàn ṣe ló lè ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ tán. Ṣùgbọ́n mo fẹ́ fi dá lójú pé ní ìgbàkúgbà ní àsìkò sásìkò pé ṣe dáa fún gbogbo ẹni, pé ṣe dáa fádùúgbò ẹni, pé ṣe dáa fúnlé ẹni, òkè la máa ń wò pa àṣeṣe. Ibi ó bá kù sí Ọlọ́run ẹ̀ bá ní ṣe, Ọlọ́run ẹ̀ sì ṣe dáadáa fún ni. Gbogbo ẹni pátápátá ibi bàtà bá ti ń tà ní gbogbo ẹni lẹ́sẹ̀, Ọlọ́run ẹ̀ bá ní bu omi tútù sí. A kò lè ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀tọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ mo ṣe sọ, ṣùgbọ́n mo pé lágbára Ọlọ́run ìwọ̀nba èyí Ọlọ́run fún ni láǹfààní láti máa ṣe a máa gbìyànjú ẹ̀. Bí ó bá sì kù sí ẹ máa pe ni sí àkíyèsí ká máa mú èyí ó bá wù kí èyí ó bá tún kù ká ṣe. Mo kí ọkùnrin, mo kí obìnrin, mo kí ọba, mo kí ìjòyè, mo kí gbogbo ilé pátápátá pé lágbára Ọlọ́run iná Yewa North àti Imeko Afon kò ní jó àjórẹ̀yìn o. Iwájú òlọ́pàá ibi tí ni ẹ máa lọ sí o. Ọlọ́run ẹ dúró tí gbogbo yín o. Ẹ dúró fún mo dúpẹ́ fún àdúró tí yín látẹ̀yìnwá. Mo sì tún dúpẹ́ pé lágbára Ọlọ́run gbogbo yòókù níwájú Ọlọ́run ẹ bá ní ṣe délẹ̀ dáadáa lẹ jẹ́ ibi àfẹ́ ibẹ̀ lẹ já sí. Ẹ ṣeun mo dúpẹ́.
Thank you very much, Honorable Gboyega GNI, for coming on Know Your Representative.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
To the community, policing is the work of everybody. When you see something, say something. Let us have a peaceful atmosphere.
Honorables Gboyega, Nasir, Isiaka, whose vision, dedication, and proactive leadership led to the initiation of these laudable projects. The commissioning of this police divisional headquarters underscored the resolve of our representative to bring policing closer to the people of Odiodo.
So this one you have done for us is huge. We know it's huge. And we promise that we will justify the investment and we will justify the hope and, of course, expectation you have in getting this done.
I want to appreciate you, our benefactor, for giving us this wonderful edifice. It is said that to whom much is given, much is expected. I pledge on behalf of the Area Command Ayetoro that this edifice, which is one of its kind in Ogun State, will be utilized judiciously. And we promise that the good people of Ojodo and its environs will sleep with their two eyes closed when we are comfortably in-house in this wonderful edifice.
Imeko Afon tó jẹ́ pé kò yẹ ká máa rọ epo sínú ìgò. Bàbá wa Nasir Isiaka a gbàdúrà fún yín pé ó máa tẹ̀síwájú lórúkọ Jésù.
Look at the road we are standing now. It's the work of the GNI, Gboyega Nasir Isiaka. So also most of the street lights, that is solar lights in so many streets. So he has been doing that.
Àǹfààní gidi ni gbogbo nǹkan wa ló mú rọrùn wá. Torí ọ̀pọ̀ ìyà ló ti jẹ wá. Ìyà ti jẹ wá lórí ọ̀nà àìní ọ̀nà. Nǹkan tó ṣe fún wa àti jìyà ó ti pọ̀ kọjá. Àǹfààní tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rí nísìn ààrẹ eléyìí tó jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
Ìpèníjà ńlá ni a ní lẹ́yìn àdúgbò Òkè Ayọ̀ yìí. Kò síná, kò sómi, kò sọ́nà. A sì rí àwọn aṣojú ìjọba láàrin wa. Arìn lọ, arìn bọ̀, wọ́n ṣe àyẹ̀wò kínníkínní. Lẹ́yìn àyẹ̀wò iná sọ fún wa pé ìjọba fẹ́ fún wa ní iná ní ìdàgbàsókè wa
We know that Ojodan is getting bigger and bigger every day, both in population and in expansion. So we need more police stations. So we have to request from our honorable to help us to look into it. And thank God he obliged and helped us to construct the ultra-modern police station.
This project, ICT projects that is started in our school, we enhance teaching and learning. Our students will be able to compete very well with other students in the whole world.
If you look around, you must have passed 1 or 2 rows here, facilitated by him in the town. And not only here, you know, we represent Imeko, Afon, and Yewa North. So it was well accepted because of the hard work he is doing. And I know that his quality has also been recognized in the National Assembly.
The task of the leaders is to get their people from where they are to where they've not been.
The job is simple: to provide effective representation for your people and also be a strong voice.
How do we hold our leaders accountable in the business of lawmaking and representation?
There should be more scholarship for children to be able to go to school.
Faleke is a man of God. He has been doing it. He has been helping people.
And how do the people ensure that their constituency projects are executed to the letter? Do they even know their representatives at the states and national assemblies?
He touched so many lives across the states.
We're ready to go the extra mile just to show Nigerian your constituency projects, both federal, state, and local government level. Know your representative with Maria Olashende, bridging the visible gap. So that has been our package for today. Join me same time next week as I bring you another lawmaker who has impacted his or her constituents at the grassroots level. For missed episodes, you can catch up on our YouTube page, My Base TV. Thank you for watching. I am Dr. Maria Olashende. Goodbye and God bless Nigeria.